Welcome to the National Basketball Arena. We're about to get underway here for the final game of this European Championships of Small Countries between Ireland and Malta. Ireland need a victory here today to guarantee the gold medal, but there is some permutations. They can still win the gold medal without winning. I'm joined for this one by Conor Meany. Conor, first of all, talk about Ireland. Fantastic week so far. What are we expecting out of today's game from them?
Yeah, I'm expecting another polished performance for them. I think they've shown an amazing kind of organisation and a talent and depth that we haven't seen from any other team in this tournament so far, and hopefully we're about to witness some Irish basketball history tonight. I guess the big issue for Malta, we've seen Malta throughout the tournament. They were very strong in the early games, and they then lost to Andorra yesterday, but even a bigger story that impacts today was that they imploded on the bench midway through the third quarter, and the two players involved, Kurt Cesar in particular, is their big 6'10" guy, and he's now been seemingly suspended by the team, so two of their important players aren't playing today, so that could be a major factor. He's the third leading scorer and the leading rebounder in the tournament, so a huge loss for Malta today.
So underway here, starting fives for Ireland, the same starting five they've had in the previous 3 games. Number 5 CJ Fulton, 6 Logan Murphy, 7 Sean Flood, 13 Jordan Blount and 14 John Cowell. For Malta, it'll be number 4 Jack Zammit, who opens the scoring with that layup. Be number 7 Captain Peter Schultz, number 10 Kevin Falzon, number 12 Aaron Falzon, and number 13 Kurt Exareb. So Malta off to a good start, Connor, which I suppose for the neutral or for anyone supporting Malta is important, because the last 2 games Ireland were off to a flyer, with both San Marino and Gibraltar finding it difficult to score in the first few minutes.
Yeah, great start, lovely drive by Zammit, and an uncharacteristic turnover in the half court as well for Ireland. Bound to be a little bit of tightness as they kind of get into this game and try and close out the tournament.
Here's the danger man, Aaron Falzone. He's leading the competition in scoring despite having a really tough time of it last night against Andorra, as Schultz can't make the 3 as the shot clock winds down. How do you think Ireland will deal with the scoring threat of both the Falzones, Tevin and Aaron?
Yeah, Aaron in particular is the leading scorer in the tournament, 26.5 points a game. Andorra did a great job of denying him and took him completely out of the offense, and Malta didn't look like they had a plan B, so there's going to be a big job for Lorcan Murphy today to try and do that. Fulton
goes to the basket, but blocked by Falzon at the hoop, and here's Zammit looking to extend the early lead for Malta. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Schultz, the high screen from Falzon. Good defense again. We've seen that throughout this tournament from Ireland. Shot clock's now on 1 by the halfway line. Just gets it off in time. There's Kevin Falzon, and Exreb does a good job of contesting the rebound. Here comes Flood for Ireland. Inside to Murphy. He's been the scoring threat early in the first couple of games. Can't finish on that occasion. And rebounded by a mixture of Falzon and then Zammit. Here's Aaron Falzon shooting 50% from the 3-point line in the tournament. Exleb that will take the 3 this time. That one's in and out, and Fulton look to push for Ireland to Murphy. John Cowell from the corner. He opens Ireland scoring. And Connor John's been consistent every game for Ireland in scoring, and one of the big leaders for Ireland this week.
Yeah, definitely. He's in the top 10 in scoring with over 17 points a game, and similar to the Gibraltar game, Ireland didn't score for the first 2 minutes, and then they followed that in that game with a quick 12-2 run, so hopefully now from an Irish perspective they'll be able to settle down and get a couple of scores.
So the first foul of the game is going to go against Lorcan Murphy. It's going to be end-line ball. No, they're going to give him 2 shots.
Not sure about the shooting part, but it's definitely a foul. Going back to your earlier question as well, about how they slow down the Falzons. You can see the last offense, Aaron Falzon had the ball, and Jordan Blount was very much helping him from the corner, so it's going to be a mentality that if they can shut down the Falzons and make the rest of the Maltese team beat them, that's what Ireland wants. So you could hear the Irish bench kind of saying good job to Jordan on that, so we expect to see that, trying to shrink the court as much as they possibly can.
There's another turnover there as Exeb does a good job of getting his hands to the ball. Here's Falzon down the lane but doesn't go, and off the hands of Jordan Blount and out of bounds.
Falzon picks it up in transition, couldn't finish, but it's a Malta ball.
Inside to Tevin Falzon. He takes a turnaround jump shot, and that is good for Tevin. He opens his score and averaging 17 points again, but kind of very impressive yesterday. He kind of picked up the slack a little bit for his brother, but in the end not enough for Malta as Aaron Falzon gets his second block of the game on Jordan Blount.
Yeah, good block there by Aaron, but yeah, Tevin was excellent at 23 yesterday. played in the same prep school that CJ Fulton then went to Winchendon a few years later, and he's played in the BBL. Both brothers have, so they definitely have quality to them.
Jordan Blount with a little flip shot. We've seen a lot of from him this week. Gets the basket, this time doesn't go, but tipped in by Murphy. And it's 6-4 in the early going. Zamet under pressure from Flood and Bolton, stolen away. Ireland have 3-on-2 this time. Blount, great pass inside to Cowell, and a late whistle, but it is called. It didn't look like a foul. It's going to go on 10 fouls on.
Yeah, good job pushing the ball in transition. Jordan finds John right underneath the basket. Fair call. John heads to the free throw line, but that's where Ireland have been at their best this week when they're pushing it in transition up tempo. They're not a huge team. John's probably a natural 4, so they're playing without a natural 5 in this lineup, and they've been very good, aggressive, kind of pushing it down the floor.
Cowell misses the first one. He'll have another chance. So Ireland, of course, winning their first 3 games. Victories over Andorra 96-81, San Marino 107-59, and Gibraltar 113-63. So 3 very impressive performances so far. And Connor mentioned it yesterday, averaging over 100 points a game, but a slightly slower start today. Is that more Malta's defence, of Ireland just not being quite as efficient as they have been in the early tournament, as Valzon hits the fadeaway jump shot?
Yeah, there's been a couple of signs, I think, of tightness a little bit. A short free throw by John Carroll barely hit the front of the ring there. There's been 2 turnovers already, so Ireland obviously are very aware that they have an opportunity to win a gold medal here on our own home floor, and even though there isn't a big crowd, there's no crowd at all, there's still a big expectation on their own shoulders, so I expect that they're going to settle down into the game very quickly. And one of the great things with the depth that they have is that there isn't a pressure that any single person has to really carry them today, that anyone on that team can provide a spark and get them going.
Here was the spark from yesterday. He starts off from the 3-point line in the corner, 3 points for Sean Flood, 19 in the game yesterday, and they'll be looking for more of that from him today.
Yeah, definitely great shooter and shot in rhythm, which is exactly what we want to see.
Another steal from Fulton. He's got a couple already in this game. Here's Flood finding Murphy inside. Murphy, nice pocket pass inside to Cowell, and Ireland have woken up and they lead this game for the first time, 10-8. Again, full court pressure on Flood, just about gets away with a backcourt violation there. Exareb, he knocks down the 3, and from a Maltese point of view, he needed that. They've kind of, you mentioned Jordan helping a lot earlier, they've left him open in the early going. It's a great pass from Blount to Flood.
Yeah, nice connection there between the two there. The only two that I think the only two anyway that have played together at underage international for Ireland as well, so they have a good connection. But one of the things that we saw in the Andorra game for Malta is they turned the ball over 22 times, so there is an opportunity to force turnovers and get out and run for Ireland.
Great pass from Blount. Murphy can't finish, but Cowell did a great job of running the floor and putting that in. We saw that. It was almost back-to-back assists for Jordan Blount. He's second in the competition with 4.3 a game. You mentioned it in one of the games earlier on this week, how much under control he's been and how much he's been the big catalyst for Ireland, pushing the ball up the floor and making the assists at the end of the play.
Yeah, definitely, and here we see Lorcan breaking out.
And on the back of that, after a slow start from Ireland, Malta are going to call a timeout. The kind of turnovers have been key, and points on the break and points on the fast break for Ireland have been key. And Malta just turned the ball over and have got Ireland started with a 5-point lead now. Yeah,
definitely. We see there the Sean Flood 3 in the corner, but the transition has been the thing that has woken Ireland up, and that's what they want. If you're in the half court and you're a little bit tentative, you might shoot short, but anytime they can get out and run, they're being really effective. And we've seen some great passing. There's that pass from Jordan, and he really has been an outstanding passer. This should have been an assist, but it ended up leading to a basket anyway. So it's just exciting watching here. And here's Lorcan surprisingly not dunking, as one of the only times you'd ever see him on a breakaway not dunking at the end. So it's so refreshing to see an Irish team that are kind of led by young Irish developed players who've gone away, the likes of Jordan and John in particular, but who we've mentioned all week. Sean's had a great week, really built since the Andorra game, and then Lorcan as well domestically is being a star in the league. So it's really great to see these young guys coming and really setting the tone.
So first subs for Ireland as Carl Horsford and Will Hanley have checked into the game. That's been the early substitution rotation. And just quickly, Colin, you mentioned Kurt Kazar earlier. You know, fourth in scoring, first in rebounds, second in efficiency. How much of a loss is that going to be for Malta, and is it a loss that they can overcome in this one?
Yeah, it's absolutely huge because even before the tournament, Sam Delguera is the 7'5" Maltese centre who was the MVP of the 2018 tournament. He wasn't able to travel and come with the team, so they were already down a big presence, and Kurt has been a big part of the team over this last week, so not having him is absolutely huge. Is it overcomable from an Irish perspective? Hopefully not.
Great double team from Carl and Horsford, and it ends up in Jordan Blount getting to the basket for another two. 18-11 Ireland lead. And Malta have just struggled to get into offense of late since Ireland have picked up the pressure offensively. Ireland look to push here. Horsford to Fulton. Fulton gets into the key, out to Horsford. Hanley, 11 the shot clock. Carroll, short corner jump shot's going to be short, and Tevin Valzon cleans up the rebound. Is Ian Felice Pace, one of the brothers, and the other sets of brothers that's checked into the game here. And Exoeb follows up his 3-point shot with a 2 and reignites the Malta scoring, trailing by 5 here. Blount to a cut in Hanley, blocked by Falzon, this time blocked by Tevin Falzon. And despite the missing Kazar inside, 3 blocks already from Aaron Falzon, so Malta still got some big bodies in there.
Yeah, definitely. The Falzons are two very big athletes. They're more wing players, but they're doing a good job. In the last tournament when Samuel Delguera wasn't playing, one of the big things that people were saying was the Maltese offense was able to be more up-tempo and free-flowing through the Falzons. It's just, will they have the depth to be able to survive now without 2 key players missing here today?
Tevin Falzon for 3 as Kieran Rowe is checked in for Ireland. Owen Quigley is down below us, looking to check in the next day ball. Floater from Moe, and a great start for him. He'll be pleased to see that first shot go down. Of course, the last 2 games, the spin move from Falzon's going to get a foul on Blount. Last 2 games, all 12 Irish players have been on the score sheet.
Yeah, Falzon did a good job spinning baseline there on Jordan, and he had no real option other than to give up the foul.
So Quigley and Colleen both check in, and it'll be Blount and Cowell take a break. 2013, and another one of brothers. This time it's Nathan Exoeb that will check in for Malta. A couple of big bodies hit the deck in the middle. Good defense from Quigley. Just puts off Tevin Falzon. Colleen grabs the rebound. Hanley to Rowe. And a foul will be called, just reaching in there from Nathan Exoeb. That'll be Malta's 3rd team foul. 1:53 to go in this first quarter. Carl Horsford just directing traffic out of bounds as Malta are back into a zone here, as they have been for a few of it. The first quarter, as Colleen takes short corner jump shot, doesn't go. Rebounded by Tevin Falzon, who's 2nd in the competition in rebounds, 11.3 per game. Shot clock down to 10. Turnaround jump shot from Falzon is good.
That's a great shot there by Tevin. It's a tough shot as well, and one of the worries for Malta is that they rely on so many tough shots from the 2 Falzons. There isn't a huge amount of movement, but they're doing a good job in this zone, and the Irish lineup probably doesn't have any out knockdown shooter, although there's a couple of very capable shooters.
Here's Rowe. He'll shoot from long range. Nothing but net from Kieran Rowe. High arcing shot over the outstretched arm of Exareb. Kieran Rowe, excellent start to this one. He's 5 points already. Fouls on. Exareb drives into the key. Up over Hanley. That one bobbles out, but Tevin fouls on, grabs the rebound. And a good finish off 1 foot as he just keeps his balance there. And Tevin fouls on. Had a great start for Malta. He's 6 as 20 seconds in this first quarter to go. Just 12 on the shot clock. So Quigley all the way to the basket. Doesn't get it. Another rebound for fouls on. There's 10 on the game clock for fouls on to get a shot up. Open. Felice Pace from the corner for 3. Bounces out. Rebounded by Aaron. Fouls on. Gets a shot up. Not in time. And his brother Tevin had a chance there, but didn't manage to gather the ball. So the end of an entertaining first quarter. It's Ireland 23, Malta 17. And after a slow start for Ireland, the strength of the defence and turning the ball over and that speed up and down the court just started to show for Ireland midway through that quarter.
Yeah, definitely. Transition has been the big differentiator between the two teams. Ireland have been able to just get enough points in transition. They'll be worried a little bit about the impact of the 2 fouls on. Here you see that pass all the way down to Lorcan Murphy. John Carroll does a great job following it. And here's the breakaway from Lorcan Murphy. But Ireland are struggling to come to terms with the fouls ons a little bit, and they're also they've given up some points off rebounds, which will be a concern. It's difficult even in the matchup there in the last one. We saw Tevin Falzon come in for the perimeter and get an offensive rebound. Jason Killeen would have been a natural matchup with Kurt Cesar, 2 big bodies banging against each other. But in this lineup that Malta have, they're a little bit smaller, and it becomes more challenging for our bigger bodies to have to close out to the perimeter to guard them and then get all the way into grab defensive rebounds. So it'll be something interesting to watch out. But overall, I think from an Irish perspective, we're seeing enough to believe that we're going to have a lot of positive work today.
So coaches just making their adjustments. Mentioned a few times, this will be the first time Ireland last won this competition in 1994 in this arena when it just opened. Hoping to repeat that today and bring back some silverware. Adrian O'Sullivan checks in for the first time today. He's joined back on the court by Sean Flood.
Sean and Adrian quickly in for Kyle, and Owen Quigley just provides that extra little bit of shooting, and you see Malta go straight back into man-to-man.
It's Hanley to Killeen. Kieran Rowe back with an excellent start, finds an open Hanley. Hanley will shoot that. He's made plenty of those this week, and another 3 to open the scoring for Will Hanley.
Yeah, beautiful shot by Hanley there. The Obernizers in Ohio and the Hanleys in Connecticut will be delighted with that one, Matt.
Excellent addition this week. Really fitted into the way Ireland play and just into the system, considering he hadn't played and hadn't practiced much with the team beforehand. He looks like he's been there all summer. Yeah,
definitely. He's fit in perfectly, and I think that's the mark of a very talented player. It's not easy just to come in and play with guys you've never seen before and fit together so well. So
Killeen gets to the contact but can't finish at the hoop. And here's fouls on again. Hanley right up on fouls on. He's looking to shoot that 3 every time. 50% as we talked about from 3-point line. And today though, it's his brother Tevin who's got the hot hand. He goes to 9 points.
Yeah, he's done a great job shooting so far, and again it's that challenging matchup for Jay, having to close out to the perimeter against a guy who's probably a 3-4 rather than a 5.
O'Sullivan to Hanley. We're going to get a foul there. That's off the ball. It's going to go on Killeen. Didn't see what happened there, but
we'll see if you can see it here on the roll. Jay tries to get position and
could have gone either way, but Colleen and Hanley will check out, and Carroll and Blount will check back in. 3-point game.
Yeah, Malta have to be happy overall. They've shot the ball well from the perimeter. They, outside of the transition baskets that they've given up, they've played pretty good defense. So overall, they've done a good job.
Foul zone. Guarded by Blount. Tevin fouls on. Short corner, 12 on the shot clock. He looks to back down Carroll, but nowhere to go. Finds a cut in Exereb, and he puts it in. And we have a 1-point game here, starting the second quarter.
He's done a great job today. He's been that third scorer that they needed, particularly with Kurt Cesar out. So they're going to need him to be consistent all throughout the game.
Flood made his last three. He's open for another one. Nothing but net from Sean Flood. You mentioned earlier he's really grown into the tournament this week after not a tough start, but a quiet start against Andorra.
Yeah, a quiet start, but it's probably a little bit unfair on him. He did exactly what was needed. It just weren't a lot of shots available to him in that first game, but he did everything that was required.
19 points in the game yesterday. He's already up to 8 today. And CJ Fulton's going to check in for Kieran Rowe, who leads with 5 points.
Yeah, it's very good minutes there by Kieran Rowe. You see that three from Sean, but Kieran had that contested three, but he also had a nice floater down the lane, so a great job by former captain of the Irish national team.
8 on the shot clock. Again, Ireland quick to double team and nearly get the turnover there.
Yeah, and you can see that it's immediate. The minute that the ball goes on the floor, or even before the ball goes on the floor, certain times there's 2, if not 3 defenders coming at Aaron Falzone.
And he'd been tearing it up early in the week with some really big scores, but I suppose good timing for Ireland as Andorra really showed them the blueprint for guarding him in yesterday's game.
Yeah, definitely. Andorra did a great job. That's a really tough shot. Good defense there by John Carroll. But yeah, Andorra showed exactly the way to do it, and the challenge for Malta is that they haven't been able to find other ways of getting Aaron Falzone involved. They're being a little bit one-dimensional at times, giving them the ball on the wing to post up, and then it's inviting on an easy trap. So they have to find other ways to get him involved if they're going to be successful.
38 points Aaron Falzone had against Gibraltar early in the week.
Yeah, we'll see here. It was a great steal by Jordan initially to get the position. Doesn't finish as Tevin Falzone comes over and changes the shot, but Jordan gets the ball back and goes straight back up and heads to the free throw line to try and extend the Irish lead.
Jack Samet checks back in for Ian Felice Pace.
It's 1 for 4 for Ireland from the free throw line so far, 2 from 5 now, so not a big issue, but the longer this game stays close, it's something that Ireland will want to knock down at a higher level from the free throw line.
Exereb to Falzone. Here's Aaron. He's looking to get that shot, but again, 3 Irish defenders converge on him. That goes out of bounds off Ireland though, so with 10 on the shot clock, it will be Malta ball.
Yeah, it's this small, I guess, a small ball lineup for Ireland in itself, with John at the 5 is able to switch at everything and then bring on doubles, so they're able to contest a lot of shots. And Jordan and John have good size to be able to, any actions that involve the 2 Falzone brothers, they're able to contest everything.
Beautiful move inside by Jordan Blount, finds a bit of space. Soft touch off the glass, and Ireland have a 7-point lead here. Carroll slips but regains his position to get the steal. This time Ireland have numbers to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan to Flood. Beautiful basketball from Ireland. Nine-point lead, 34-25. Here's Exereb, tries to stop the bleeding. That one's going to bounce out, rebounded by Blount. He'll look to push as O'Sullivan wide open up the court, and he is fouled. Quick to get up. We have a little bit of a difference of opinion, but everyone's happy enough.
Yeah, let's see it here. Look, I think it's a good hard foul. He may have been expecting Adrian to go up on the other side of the basket, so I don't think there was anything dirty in it or anything else.
And unsurprisingly, Malta are going to call a timeout here after a good run from Ireland.
Yeah, there you see that fast break and great unselfishness by Adrian to make the extra pass to Sean. And that's what we've seen from Ireland throughout the week, is quick bursts of scoring. So they've been able to get out and run really quickly and score in transition. If you see some of Malta's good work offensively, Ireland are going to give up shots when they're paying so much attention to the foul zones. But there's been some good passing as well. Nice cut to the basket there. And here we see the Sean Flood 3 from up top.
Top scores in the game so far. Tevin Falzon for Malta has 9. Kurt Exweb has 7. For Ireland, that spread of scoring again that we've seen throughout this week. Sean Flood leads the scores on 10 with John Carroll on 7.
Just there in the last shot there in the timeout, you can see Kurt Cesar standing behind the bench. He's an imposing figure, and from a neutral perspective, would have loved to have seen him involved in this game, because he's a big part of this Maltese team, and it does take an element out of this game. Of course, I'm sure there's Irish people at home just saying they're more than happy for him not to be playing and let's just get a goal, but as a spectacle, it definitely is taking an element out of the game.
So we mentioned second in efficiency, first in rebounds. He's fourth in score with 19 points per game. So a huge loss for Malta today, but so far they've done a pretty good job of trying to overcome that. Couple of 5-6 point runs from Ireland. I mean, we now have a 10-point game with 5:58 to go as Adrian O'Sullivan opens his account for the day. He knocks down both. Again, that pressure from Flood, and O'Sullivan comes from behind to get the steal. And Blount gets knocked off the ball. A lot of contact all around. We're going to keep playing. Bodies everywhere. Again, good pressure from Ireland with the steal, but Malta right back. Steal the ball back, and here's Zammit. Tevin Falzon. He's going to take another tough fadeaway jump shot. That one goes in and out. Rebounded by Blount.
Yeah, it's a very tough shot, and even that offense is a good example. On the weak side, Aaron Falzon, leading scorer in the tournament, has been guarded by CJ Fulton. Now, CJ's gotten significantly stronger. There's a lovely pass by Jordan, but CJ's gotten significantly stronger over the last year, but at the same time, Aaron just accepted the guard and just didn't try and do anything off the ball, just stood and watched. So that's something Malta have to figure out a way to have a little bit more movement and involvement of their star player, even if he's been denied.
Good score off the backdoor play that we've seen a lot of this week from Flood, but Zammit comes right back with a layup and a turnover this time from Ireland. Yeah, and we saw a bit of that from Falzon yesterday, standing off in the perimeter a little bit. When he's getting someone up close to him, he tended just to stand around a little bit more. You'd like to see a bit more movement, like you said. Here he is on the ball, try and be a bit more aggressive.
A lot of the times, look, he's doing probably the right thing at times, but Malta need him to be almost a superhero and really go over and above what's possible for them to have a chance here.
Blount grabs that rebound and assist. O'Sullivan on the break.
Jordan's shown that arm throughout the game, his second touchdown pass. But Matt, this Irish team at the current 5 that's on the court, you've got 4 guys who are professional and 1 guy who's just about to head to Lafayette. So really exciting young group that I think this group could be the core of the Irish team now for the next couple of years.
Blount to the basket, he's going to get all the way to the hoop, and that's going to count as a goaltend is going to be called. Yeah, basket's good. To the delight of Jordan Blount. You see the move there. Jordan Blount already 7 points, 8 rebounds and 6 assists in the game.
Yeah, unbelievable work by Jordan so far. I think he's in the top 10 in assists, points and rebounds in the tournament, which just shows the sort of dynamic multi-purpose player that he is. I'm not fully sure I agree with that call there. I think the block was fair. I'm not sure it was a goaltend, but we won't argue it.
Jordan second in assists, third in rebounds, fourth in efficiency. So Lorcan Murphy is checked back in with Carl Horsford. And Ireland all of a sudden have gone out to a 13-point lead. Long three is no good from Falzon. Rebounded by Murphy. CJ Fulton looks to push. Uses the screen from Blount. Hanley open on the 3-point line. He's going to take that. Made his last one. That one's going to be short. He chased after the rebound but can't get there in time.
It's a good shot though, and it's the right shot to take. I have to say, you can see the interactions that Hanley's been having with the team throughout the week that we've seen him here, practices and games, and he seems to fit in seamlessly for someone that, as you said, is their first time playing for Ireland.
Zamet, he'll take a three. Horsford gets a hand up, and this time it will be Fulton finds Horsford on the break. Great cut to pass to Hanley on the cut, and two is good from Hanley. And Malta just haven't been able to get back in transition, especially down this left side underneath us. Continually leave someone open down the wing there.
Yeah, definitely. And look, we've been saying it all week, but Ireland's depth is so much stronger than everybody else's all week. And this is obviously the fourth game in a week for some guys who may not have played that much basketball over the last year. As you see, Aaron Falzon hit a tough shot, but if that's the only offense that Malta are able to create, and it's tough step backs and different things like that, Ireland are going to be more than happy with that, and they'll be able to rebound and run throughout the game.
Horsford puts the ball on the floor, nearly finds a cut in Murphy, stolen away by Falzon, but stolen right back from Hanley. Murphy will take a quick three. That one doesn't go. It's rebounded by Engelbert, who's checked into the game for Malta. We haven't seen too much of him this week. Falzon guarded by Hanley.
Yeah, great defense by Hanley there.
Tough screen from Engelbert. It's called offensive foul. And Neil Randall's going to check in for the first game.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I don't think there's anyone going to be arguing with that. I know Will's fiance Hope is watching in New York as well, Matt. We'll be delighted to see the way that Will has fit into this Irish team. Will's grandmother is originally from Cork. That's his Irish connection. So I got all the background made sure to get the shout outs today.
I'm only disappointed you didn't use the name Hope in some kind of way to get us the title, but sure he'll come up with something later. Here's Murphy. Malta back in his own. Oh, great move from Blount, but can't find the pass. And Felice Pace has Zamet in front of him. He's going to pull up for a three. Tevin Falzon tips it first, but only into the hands of Horsford, who starts the break. Here's Blount. Nice inside pass to Hanley. And Will Hanley knocks in his 7th point of the game.
Yeah, that's 7 points, 8 assists, 7 assists, 8 rebounds and 7 points for Jordan, and probably had 2 other almost assists that led to baskets as well, so just a phenomenal performance so far.
And Owen Quigley's going to check back in as the referees below us are just having a word with the multi-coach about something I'm not sure, but they're certainly not happy. Or I think they're talking about a flop.
It's a lovely pass by Kyle there. Will Hanley found some joy under the board so far today.
So a minute to go in this first half. Ireland now leading by 14 points. They're halfway there towards this gold medal. Here's Hanley. Great cut from Murphy and finishes beautifully underneath the hoop. $16-point lead for Ireland. Slow start to the game, but they've really picked it up in the second quarter. Felice Pace, extra pass to Exweb. He'll take the three. That one's off. Rebounded by Hanley. And a foul goes on Aaron Falzon. That's going to be his first.
Ireland
But it'll be the team 6, so we'll have 2 shots.
Yeah. Good rebounding by Ireland there, and frustration is coming in. We saw Malta yesterday obviously capitulate a little bit and a little bit of infighting. Hopefully from a neutral perspective they are able to kind of stick together today, keep battling away.
Free throws are good from Carl Hoss, but 36 seconds to go in the first half. Malta in massive need of a basket here just to keep themselves in the game. It's getting out of hand a little bit here after a really good start. They've struggled to score in this last 6 minutes, just 6 points. Here's Exaweb, puts the ball on the floor, 1 bounce jump shot, doesn't go, rebounded by Quigley. Again, he has Murphy streaking down the court, but Malta managed to get it back, and it's going to be a foul on Owen Quigley, his first of the game.
Foul there. But out of hustle more than anything, and only the 3rd team foul for Ireland, so Markian will be more than happy with that.
Zammit to foul zone. There's 7 on the shot clock, 8 on the... Oh, Horsford nearly got a steal, but just slipped at the last second. So 5.6 seconds to go in the half. Connor, just quickly, slow start from Ireland, but you liked what you've seen in the last quarter and a half?
Yeah, really good. I think defensively they've really been excellent. Not only just turning them over and running well, but even in the half court they're just forcing really tough shots, and they're playing the scout report defense really well, taking the foul zones out of it, forcing other people to shoot shots like we have here.
We're going to have an unsportsmanlike foul. I think it's going to go on Allen foul zone. Push it on quickly with 0.9 seconds to go.
Yeah.
Don't think there's much argument about that one.
Definitely a frustration foul there. It's like they're 18 points down and just cleared out. Quiggs.
Ireland done an excellent job on foul zone, just kept it to 7 points. So with 0.2 to go, 0.9 to go, Quigley will have 2 shots. He'll make the first. Ireland will get the ball back. So Ireland still on course to reach their tournament average, just over 100 points. So they'll probably just have enough time to catch and shoot. And Murphy will take a 1-footer. That's close, but out. So at the end of this first half of the final game in this European Championship of Small Countries game, it's Ireland 51, Malta 32. We're going to take a break, 15 minutes for half time, so we'll be back in about 14 minutes or so for the second half to see if Ireland can complete the job, come away from this tournament with a gold medal. So we'll be back in about 14 minutes time for the resumption of the second half. Welcome back here to National Basketball Arena. We're just underway here. Second half, this final game of the FIBA European Championships of Small Countries as Kurt Exereb opens the scoring for Malta. It's Ireland lead 51-34. If Ireland win this one, as we get a backdoor play from CJ Fulton and another assist for Jordan Blount. Ireland win this one to win the gold medal. Connor, fabulous first half, been a fabulous tournament all week from Ireland. Well on the way to the gold medal at the moment. Can you see Malta being able to do anything to stop them?
They're going to have to not turn the ball over, but you know, at half-time I heard Adrian O'Sullivan kind of say to his teammates, every possession matters. Let's dive on the floor. Let's try and force turnovers on the defensive end. And first play into the second half, Ireland have a big lead. You see Sean Flood diving on the floor, fast break layup. It's fantastic to see.
Jordan Blount, 7 points, already 9 assists and 8 assists and 9 rebounds in this first half. A couple of turnovers to boot, just to keep his feet on the floor.
Yeah, just keep him honest, but it's been an absolutely fantastic display by him so far. He had a great week, but this is everything good about what Jordan brings to the team is here today, and we're seeing it pushing in transition.
That's 10 rebounds for Jordan in 16 minutes of play to get the first foul of this second half. And Alec Felice Pace is going to come on. He's going to replace brother Ian. Flood off the screen by Carroll, finds Carroll cutting to the basket. Carroll used his strength, great move inside, finishes above the ring.
Yeah, and I think what we've seen so far in this first 2 minutes of the second half is exactly what I've loved about watching this Irish team all week. It's been relentless. They've had their own standards that have been above the standards of the competition so far, and they're not accepting anything else, and just keep pushing it, keep doing the right thing as much as they possibly can.
Great follow from Blount on the steal from Lorcan Murphy.
It takes him closer to that triple-double as well with an extra rebound, 2 more points.
11 rebounds, 9 points for Blount to go with his 8 assists. Fouls on, tries to go to the basket, another rebound for Blount. He has Flood ahead of him, but the pass is tipped and stolen by Zammit. Here's Tevin, fouls on. Blount runs past. Missed 3, Lorcan Murphy looks to grab the rebound, but it'll be Exereb with another chance to score. Wide open under the hoop is Zammit, and he gets another 2 for Malta.
Yeah, there's a poor breakdown there by Ireland.
Murphy. Nearly finds a cut in at John Cowell, but he can't hold it, and it'll be Malta basketball.
Yeah, poor turnover, bad decision. Trying to pass the ball all the way across from one wing to the far side of the key against any zone defense is going to be challenging.
Murphy nearly gets a steal, but this time Fulton comes back and helps him grab the steal. Ireland have numbers here. Blount to Cowell. Cowell back to Blount. Spin move from Blount, and Ireland off to a fabulous start in the second half. And as you said, it's kind of what we've seen from them all week.
Yeah, they've been relentless, and they have such depth and the advantage against other teams that they're able to just keep coming at you over and over again, and it's really promising from an Irish perspective.
Rebounded by John Cowell. Again, Ireland have numbers. Malta just haven't been able to get back on the break, and Jordan Blount sprints the length of the floor, takes out a few Kappa signs and finishes for another 2. And at the moment, Conor, as you mentioned a few times, just so enjoyable to watch them play like this.
Yeah, definitely. This has been a Jordan Blount game. It's
steal by Flood.
I think Jordan's gone through at least 3 of the hoardings already, and he's been on the floor all over the place. So
Felice Pace this time gets it back. He gets the steal, but Ireland quickly back down the floor. Blount to Fulton. Malta back in his own. Blount down the middle of the key. Can't get the touch off the glass. Rebounded by Tevin Falzon. This time it's Malta. They have numbers. Falzon looks to go at Flood. Great defense from Flood. Results in a travel. And we're going to get a sub here. Hanley and Quigley check in. Blount and Murphy are going to check out.
Yeah, good defense there by Sean against the big defender. And I think Martini just wants to settle things down a little bit there. We got a little bit of out of control. It's always going to be a fine line when you're trying to push the ball constantly. So, and when you have a big lead. So I'd expect we'll see Ireland settle down a little bit here.
Flood to Cowell, short corner jump shot. Doesn't go, tipped away from Aaron Falzon to Tevin. Into the middle of the key, open. Alec Felice pace for three, doesn't go, rebounded by Exareb. Good hand from Fulton. Stolen away by CJ Fulton, he's been fabulous on defense today. Three steals for Fulton, Connor, but it feels like between him and Flood, they've been responsible. Sullivan as well been responsible for maybe double figures worth of steals and just little tips.
Yeah, definitely. Even on that play, he deflected it first before he then stole it on the next pass. And he's got long arms, and he's probably got the highest basketball IQ of anyone who's been developed all the way up through Ireland.
3-point shot from Fulton in the corner is good. And that's the one thing we haven't seen from his game this week much from the 3-point line. I think he's fourth in the tournament in assists, and as you said, a lot of steals, but hasn't really needed to score so much for Ireland this week.
Yeah, he scored against Slovakia. He was good in those warm-up games, but yeah, you're right. He hasn't needed to do it, and CJ is a player who knows how to fit into a team and do whatever he can. That pass was probably lucky to get through to John Carroll, but it finishes him nice too. And you know, as you look at a game like today, it's such a shame. I know we've talked about the crowd already, but it's such a shame that someone like Danny Fulton, CJ's grandfather, isn't able to be here today, because like Danny coached Ireland to their first ever win against European international competition in 1977 when Ireland beat Portugal. And Adrian, his dad, CJ's dad, is here on the bench being involved in it. The Fultons have been such a big part of the Irish national team for so many years, so it's a shame that someone like Danny isn't able to share in this moment with his son and grandson.
And CJ will check out there. He checks out the game with 5 points, 3 steals, 3 assists, 2 assists. We saw another fabulous finish on the break from John Cowell. And it's 28-point lead, now a 27-point lead for Ireland. Malta with a bit of full court pressure. They nice zone press, and that's going to result in a turnover there as Rowe and Horsford just had different ideas. Colleen will check in for John Cowell. And Mark Keenan will just have a quick timeout there as Ireland leads 68-42. We've mentioned Slovakia a few times this week. Unfortunately, it was a game where both teams, because they had impending games, didn't want it to be streamed, so only the very skeleton staff we had on the day got to see them. But just talked about how good this Ireland team could be, because Slovakia are obviously a team playing in the top standard Eurobasket qualifiers, and Ireland lost the first game by a point, had a chance to win that game. They didn't have Will Hanley on the day as well, but really showed that they're able to play at that standard, maybe even beyond.
Yeah, definitely. They were definitely Slovakia's equal in that. I only saw the first game of it, and they were absolutely brilliant. Were able to battle all the way through. They were missing Jason Colleen and Will Hanley in the game. They lost by a point, and Slovakia had a big guy inside, about 7'4", who caused a lot of difficulty. So either of those two bodies would definitely have been a big part of Ireland being able to win a game like that. And I think we've already been talking about it during the week, that this definitely feels like it's the start of a new kind of phase of the Irish national team. I know when Ireland won in 1994, one of the things that Frankie Powell, one of the Irish Americans who was playing, said it felt like it was a graduation moment going on to the next big thing. And it definitely feels like there's something bigger about to happen for this senior men's team, that that young nucleus is there. They've already shown they can compete against the likes of Slovakia. They've shown they've been dominant in this sort of tournament. So it really kind of is exciting for people to believe that there's a lot more to come from this team, and particularly when you think of, as we said earlier on in the week, even more strength and depth on the way to support them.
Also the fact that 5 or 6 of these guys have played no basketball competitively in a year and a half. Here's fouls on, 3 on the shot clock, gets his shot off, he's going to get a foul called. And that's going to go against Khalid. That'll be his second personal foul. Tevin Falzone had a fast start to the game, but struggled to score in this second half. He's 11 points in the game so far, missed that first free throw.
Yeah, they're good players, the two Falzones, and it really is a shame that Samuel Delgara hasn't been here, and Kurt Cesar as well today. It really would have been an interesting matchup for Ireland with those bigger bodies to contend with. I still think that Ireland would have had more than enough to win, but I think it would have been better from a neutral perspective to see that sort of a battle and an even bigger test for this Irish team.
Stolen away by Malta. 3:13 to go, 3:16 to go in this first half. Fouls on for 3. And when he gets open, we've seen it all week, he shoots some tough shots from the 3-point line, but makes a lot of them, and a fantastic score.
Yeah, definitely. That was the best look he's had in a long time, and he knocked it down. As I said, he's played, I think, in Leicester Riders in the BBL, and he's about to head to the Austrian, the top league in Austria, so he's obviously a quality player.
Colleen battles to get the rebound. Horsford takes one bounce, pulls up for 3. That one bounced out, rebounded by Tevin Falzone. And Schultz sets things up for Malta. This time it's Quigley doing a good job on Aaron. Tough to criticise someone who's probably going to end up the top scorer. Schultz hurts his shoulder celebrating that made 3. But you see with Falzone, I think everyone's seen that once he puts the ball on the floor, he's looking to pull up for that 3 all the time. And you mentioned earlier, you'd just like to have seen him attack the basket a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. It's because he does have that athleticism as well. It is very challenging in a tournament like this, where particularly he doesn't have a huge amount of offensive support around him. So when teams are able to key in, and we've seen that he was averaging in the 30s earlier in the week, and then he played against the 2 best defences in Andorra and Ireland, who look set to be the gold and silver medalists here. They were a little bit smarter and able to take that primary option away. Again, it goes back to this thing which we said over and over again, it's the depth thing, that you can take one option away from the likes of Ireland and they're able to find others.
Schultz with back-to-back scores for Malta as they've just cut this lead. It was 28, it's now down to 19. So certainly Malta have shown they're not going away anytime soon here as they keep playing hard. Foul called there, and Adrian O'Sullivan is going to check in. He's coming in for Owen Quigley. .14 on the shot clock here. Horsford take it out of bounds. Malta sit in a 3-2 zone. Horsford finds a little gap to O'Sullivan. He'll have a 3 from the corner. And that is nothing but net from Adrian O'Sullivan.
Yeah, great shot by Adrian. And that was what we were saying earlier in the week. He hesitated once or twice earlier in the week, but no hesitation there. Knocked it down. Great shooter. Oh.
They're going to get a foul called there. It's going to go on Colleen. O'Sullivan 7 points in just 6.5 minutes.
Let's see if we get a replay there. And that one, Aaron came off strong and got fouled in the act of shooting.
So fouls on. We'll go to the line for 3 shots. Just debating it was 3 or 2, but it was 3 shots, so he's still 1 more to come. Whoa, tipped away by Felice Pace into hands of Schultz, and Felice Pace with 2.
Yeah, lovely footwork to finish it there, and Malta are playing really hard here in this 3rd quarter. And
inside to Hanley. Hanley, that left hand, this one bounces out. Aaron fouls on. Again, sees 2 bodies in front of him with Hanley and Horsford. Schultz is feeling a hot hand, he's made the last couple, that one's in and out.
Ireland got away with one there, didn't rebound at all.
Sullivan to Horsford, Hanley. Ireland still down 10 on the clock in this quarter to go, down to 7. O'Sullivan looks to go at 10 fouls on, makes a pass. Kieran Rowe will have an open 3 on the buzzer. In and out. In and out. So at the end of the quarter that was tied at 22 points apiece, Ireland still on course for this gold medal, leading 73-54. Much better performance from Malta. Ireland started really well but took their foot off the gas a little bit in the second half of that quarter.
Yeah, Malta did a good job. They started knocking down some shots, got that look for Aaron Falzon. He also got fouled on the 3-point shot. I think there's a little bit of inevitability that when you're this close to achieving the goal that they kind of set out for the week, Ireland are probably closing down a little bit, but they'll want to, as we said earlier on, they have their own standards, not the standards that are being set by this tournament, and they're going to want to close it out as well as possible. That was the CJ Fulton 3, but we did see some nice finishes by Malta there. But one of the things I saw an interview from Jordan Blount earlier on today, and he was like, one of their goals today was trying to kind of unite the basketball community after what's been a really tough year overall. So I definitely think there's been a huge amount of pride and satisfaction watching this Irish team, so I just hope that they're able to close it out with one more really strong quarter of basketball, because they've been an absolute credit in everything that they've been doing on and off the floor all week. The way they've carried themselves has been exactly what you want out of an Irish team, and it's just been a joy to watch, certainly here in the arena for those of us who are very fortunate to be here. But I'm sure that there's a lot of people at home who we've got messages from who also kind of feel a real sense of pride in watching this team.
Yeah, great message. I mean, we've seen basketball all over the country, probably certainly for the first time in my time, seeing people going outdoors to the outdoor courts just to keep their clubs going, just to keep themselves on the court, and the kids really enjoying the outdoor basketball. Obviously the weather's going to turn, we all hope to be back inside soon, but it's really shown that the basketball community can come together, but I think everyone hopes that we'll get the go-ahead soon enough to be back inside.
Yeah, definitely. Like there's no doubt in anyone's mind, everyone's ambition is to get inside as soon as possible, and inside at all levels, so that we can keep kids in our game. There's no doubt that that's everyone's ambition, and we've got to keep knocking on every door that we can to ensure that that happens. But we will keep doing that, and hopefully it will be sooner rather than later, because this game has been growing for a number of years in Ireland, and it's really hard to tell what damage that the last kind of 18 months has done to the game. But I think everybody wants to fight to ensure that our community stays strong and the game keeps growing here.
Exaweb for 3 from the corner. Tepin fouls on, tips that out of bounds. Connor, 46 points in the paint already through 3 quarters, Mile, and we've seen them scoring over 50 points a game in the paint. Is there anything Malta could have done differently today in order to shut that down a little bit, or Ireland just too strong?
I think Ireland are probably a little bit too strong. This zone has had success at times for Malta, but I think Ireland just have such a variety. The big thing when you're playing in this tournament, in the games that I've watched all week, is that most teams are able to take away 1 or 2 options, but you can't take away 5 options, and Ireland really do have that ability. And when you have the likes of Sean Flood, CJ Fulton, Adrian O'Sullivan on the perimeter, you have to guard them, you have to honour their shooting, and it really opens things up, and our bigger bodies are able to get to the basket and finish strong.
Alec Felice Pace with 2 there. Obviously the paint points haven't been helped by their missing Kurt Kazar. Here's O'Sullivan. 7 points for Adrian. Here's Fulton. Puts the ball on the floor, gets in the paint. Murphy, short corner jump shot is good from Lorcan. Murphy, and a solid performance from Murphy, takes his points double figures. He started the tournament with the first 7 points for Ireland. He hasn't stopped since.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. He's such a dynamic athlete, and it's great that he's been able to show it on an international scale. It's not just on the local level.
Here comes Murphy. That rebound outside to Fulton. Cowell, 3-point shot from the corner. It's going to be short, rebounded by Falzon.
And one of the other exciting things to think about is that I'm not even sure we've seen Ireland out in third gear, maybe fourth gear at all this week. Andorra provided the biggest challenge, and that it was answered quite emphatically. And I think, as you were kind of asking, what's ahead, what's there more, I think there's a huge jump from John Carroll. I definitely think there's a huge amount more. John's a great example of it. I think in those Slovakia games, 30 points in each game, absolutely dominant. And in this week, he did a huge job in that first game, but then in the other games hasn't been required to have huge scoring nights. And there's definitely more to come from him. He's a top professional who's showing Irish people what he's capable of.
24 and 10 in that first game against Andorra for Cowell. Been a steady performer since. 5th in the tournament in efficiency. Another rebound from Blount, but can't finish. 15 in the game today for John Cowell. He had 14 yesterday. And we're going to get a sub as Zammit will check in. Again, fabulous defense from Fulton.
But it's Jordan, I think, is he one assist off that triple-double?
He is now 1 assist off, yeah.
Not many triple-doubles, I imagine, have been in this tournament, so hopefully now in this last 6:56 he'll be able to do it to cap off a brilliant performance.
13 points, 14 rebounds, 9 assists for Jordan Blount. Flood to Cowell. Malta back in the zone. Blount open 3, tries to pick up that 10th assist, trying to hit John Cowell on the cut. 6:40 to go.
You assume he's aware that he's that close to it. That was definitely he was wide open and didn't even think about shooting.
Here he goes, puts the ball on the floor, gets all the way to the basket. Beautiful finger roll for Blount, takes his tally to 15. 23-point lead for Ireland. Gold medal surely now is not in doubt, just a case of putting an exclamation mark onto it. Rebound by Blount, forward by O'Sullivan. Quick 3 from Flood, doesn't go. Rebounded by Exareb. Falzon, pull up 3, that one doesn't go. He made a lot of those this week. And Blount, beautiful touch again off the glass for 2.
Yeah, beautiful.
And have we seen a tournament MVP style performance from Jordan today?
Yeah, he's been absolutely fantastic. He's done a bit of everything. He's the heart and soul of the Irish team, the way he's playing at the moment. And you know, you have to be just really happy for Jordan. He's had his shares of injuries over the last couple of years, some challenges. Obviously, very sadly, his dad passed away last October. Gary, a big part of the Cork basketball community. So it's great seeing him establish himself as a professional player, but also being able to come, and you can see he has huge pride in playing for Ireland. And he's definitely, I was talking to him earlier on, he's excited about the journey that this national team seems to be on.
You mentioned coming into the game today, he was already second in assists. He's doubled his assists per game averaging 4.3. He's got 9 already. He was third in rebounds with Kazar leading, and he's not playing. So certainly got to be in the conversation, probably along with Aaron Falzon, who's not been at his best today. Maybe John Carroll and Guillaume Colomb, would you say, would be the main contenders for the tournament MVP?
Yeah, for MVP, you'd certainly like to see it as one of the two Irish, particularly with how dominant Ireland have been. But I think all those people that you mentioned look likely to be in the tournament All-Star 5. Who the fifth person is, it's hard to tell.
So just to mark your cards, after the game there'll be a couple of minutes break as the presentations set up. Connor's put together a fantastic rostrum. We look forward to seeing that come out.
You see me go down the ladder and leg it out onto the court on camera for a minute.
So stay with us after the game. Just be a couple of minutes later, we'll have the presentation of the Fair Play Award, the All-Star 5 for the tournament MVP, the bronze, silver and gold medals, and finally, we get an offensive foul, finally the awarding of the championship trophy, which now looks almost certain to go to Ireland as Jordan Blount checks out, possibly for the last time in this tournament. And today, if he doesn't come back on the floor, he's going to finish with 17 points, 15 rebounds and 9 assists.
It's absolutely unbelievable performance by Jordan. Jordan's been one of these people that's been on the radar as like the next big thing within Irish basketball for so many years. Before he ever went over to, I think he left Neptune and went over to Gran Canaria initially, and then he went on his journey over to the States. So it's great for him to have this moment here in the arena, leading the Irish team to only the second ever FIBA championship that we've ever won.
I suppose the other person we mentioned in the MVP ratings has been a lot of good performances. Sean Flood had a good week as well, but John Carroll just quietly today gets 20 points and you barely noticed him.
Yeah, he has a knack of he's a quiet scorer. He really is, and he's had a really impressive week. Sean has too. Look, I think the Irish team in general has just had a really impressive week, and I think one of the people who's going to come away from this really like strongly in a lot of people's minds is Mark Keenan himself. Like, to be fair to Mark, he's had a dominant career in the domestic league, but to have been the captain of the 1994 team and hit the winning free throws to seal that championship, and now 27 years later come back and lead this team. And one of the big things that is really clear with watching this Irish team all week is, one is that he has absolute trust in his assistant coaches in Adrian Fulton and Puff Summers, and the second is that everybody's on the same page, that there's not it's very difficult to have 12 guys who are able to get in and out, but Mark's been able to manage that whole situation, and the guys have looked very comfortable all week, full of belief. So I definitely think it's a great moment for Mark in what's undoubtedly a Hall of Fame career for him.
Yeah, just echo that fabulous performance from Ireland. Not only have they been dominant, they've also been really good to watch and entertaining this week and in the Slovakia games. It's 3:26 to go. Ireland surely gonna hit the 100-point mark again. 90-63.
I've upset Paul Kelleher by saying Gran Canaria is Jordan's first stop rather than Plymouth. I'm very sorry, Paul.
Flood with another 2. Wouldn't be the first time you've upset Paul. So Sean Flood takes his tally to 14 for the 16 rather for the game. Zammit drives baseline, guarded by Fulton. Randolph nearly gets a tip on the ball. Under 3 to go. 10 on the shot clock here. Aaron Falzon gets the basket. Open. Felice Pace in the corner. That one's not going to go, and Colleen scoops up the rebound. And Flood pushes forward to Fulton. Randolph to a cut in Colleen. Good move from Colleen, and he's going to get fouled and go to the line for 2 shots. Colleen grabs the rebound one end, gets all the way down the floor.
It's also a big moment for Jason himself. Jason was involved back in 2009, back when Jerry Larnaga was the head coach, the last time Ireland were involved in Eurobasket. And he hasn't been able to be involved in the last couple of small countries for injury reasons, and he also didn't get to go to China. He got injured the week before we went to China on the Irish select team. So for him to be able to come back and He's 36 years old. He's looked after his body in an incredible way just to be able to play here for Ireland, and it's a big moment for him to be able to be the captain in this Irish team as they lift the trophy. So it really is something special. Obviously, we both know Jay very well, and it's something that he's going to be really proud to have this moment as part of his really storied history in Irish basketball as well.
Just a word there, Conor, like on the very young backcourt. I mean, we've a really strong backcourt with some experienced bodies in there now in Horsford and Kieran Rowe, been at the top of the Irish Super League for a lot of years, but they're very much unknown coming into it. CJ Fulton obviously had a terrific year in Super League last time round, and Sean Flood's had a fabulous career aboard, but a really young backcourt coming into the game, but coming into the tournament, really controlled the way the Ireland have played this week.
Yeah, definitely. It's not easy, and it was definitely one of the concerns for the Irish team leading into the week, is when you have such young guards and you have dominant big guys inside, it can be difficult to run a team. But CJ has been so assured. Sean Flood has been absolutely fantastic, and then you have, like you mentioned, Kieran Rowe. Kieran was captain last year when Ireland were playing out in Slovakia, and he's done an amazing job. And you definitely see leadership. And one of the big things of the culture that seems to be there is that absolutely guys just want to see other guys doing well within this Irish squad. And I think one of the things I love seeing this week that speaks to that same thing is that image of the Irish under-16 girls team who were having a tough time over one of the tournaments. Obviously they haven't played all kind of year, and then they were going over and competing against tough teams, but they're there on a call with Jordan Blount, who's interacting with them. And the basketball community isn't a huge community in Ireland, so it's great seeing people getting behind each other and support anytime we have these Irish jerseys on. So it's really, really positive from a culture point of view, let alone anything else that's happening.
Tevin foul zone. Scores on the break here, and is fouled by Hanley. And Will Hanley takes huge applause from his teammates. He talked about just fitted in seamlessly this week, and you can see the reaction as he comes off the floor, how much his teammates have appreciated him, meeting him for the first time this week.
Yeah, definitely. I think everything you can tell, and we also see Aaron Falzone come off, and look, he's had a great tournament and really fought hard. But the way you can tell a lot, I think, by the way that teammates interact with people. And Will Hanley had never met any of these guys before the month of August, and he'd only ever met Mark Keenan and talked to him. So for him to be able to come in and just be part of this overall thing, it wasn't about Will Hanley, it was about Ireland, and that's such a big thing. There's always an unknown whether it's at domestic level or international level when a guy's coming in from the outside, but you can clearly see he made a huge effort to be part of this, and it's obviously a big thing for him and his family in the States that he is part of an Irish team.
And out, Tevin Falzone also checks out of the game. The two brothers, fantastic weeks. Tevin 17 points. Aaron, not his best performance today, but a great job from Ireland. Defense do 13 points, but he's been great fun to watch this week. Some stunning shooting performances earlier on. That 38-point game against Gibraltar. As Malta will take a final timeout with 37.1 to go, 94-66. Just kind of I've obviously played in a lot of these tournaments, so I've seen like the camaraderie, but more so just that real desire to win. We were talking about it earlier, we've not seen a single figure game the whole tournament, and yet from every team right up to the last buzzer you've seen a huge commitment to try and win and support their teammates and just that energy level.
Yeah, definitely everyone's putting it on the line, and even there Ireland, every single person on that bench up cheering like a deflection on defense when you're winning by so many points. But look, it's just obviously I've been involved around basketball my whole life here in Ireland. I was here in 1994 when Ireland won, and it's just amazing for Irish basketball to be able to not just to win this tournament, because I really think that we have had too much quality this week. We were going to win this tournament in my opinion once we saw a lot of the teams, but in the manner that the guys have gone about doing it, it's really set their own marker, and it's just something to be really proud of, and I really enjoy watching them, and I'm glad that they're going to have their moment now. I wish it was in front of a packed arena It was 4 years ago, I think 2 days ago was the Irish under-18 girls here in the arena, and I still can picture that moment, like particularly the game to get the semi-final, to get promoted to the A division for the first time. It was one of the most special moments I've ever seen here in the arena. The guys deserve that, but hopefully they'll be able to be honoured over the next couple of months, and it's absolutely fantastic to see this moment.
And the exclamation mark. Neil Randolph for 3, so it makes it all 12 players have scored, and the Irish lads delighted with that. That's 3 games in a row everyone scored, and they're gonna dribble it out as Ireland are gonna be crowned European champions for small countries. To see the celebrations, 99-66 victory for Ireland. Connor's just gonna nip down and make sure the presentation is set up. We'll stay for the presentation. I've got to head off myself to do some talking, but just as you see the delight on the boys' face, it's been a tough 2.5 months training weekly. But as Connor mentioned a few times, they've been untouched this week. Fabulous performance by the Ireland squad. Just to clear up some of the numbers for today's game, top scorer for Ireland, John Carroll with 20 points. Jordan Blount 17 points, 15 rebounds, 9 assists. Sean Flood 16 points, Lorcan Murphy 10.
Welcome back. The trophy presentation is about to begin shortly. Ireland's second ever FIBA championship, joining the gold medal that Ireland won back in 1994 here in the same arena. Mark Keenan and Adrian Fulton, of course, two of the players that day, and now have returned on the coaching staff to lead this young Irish team for only our second gold medal ever. Just to go through the order, there's a couple of formalities that have to be taken care of, and then there's going to be the presentation of medals. Coming on before and after today's win, it was obviously the gold medalists are Ireland, the silver medalists are Andorra after that win against Malta yesterday, and the Maltese, the defending champions from 2018, are now the third place bronze medal winners. Presentation to actually begin. So the first presentation here to begin the closing ceremony is going to be made by Mr. Robert Bald, the FIBA commissioner who's been here.
Please welcome Mr. Robert Ball, the FIBA Commissioner. We'll now give the organiser award to Mr. Malta.
Robert Ball is going to be presenting the Organisers Award on behalf of FIBA to Louise O'Loughlin, from the Chief Operating Officer of Basketball Ireland, and on behalf of FIBA to Basketball Ireland for hosting the event, and certainly from a staff perspective a huge thank you to Louise, who led the organisation. This her third FIBA Championships that she's organised over the last 4 years. So that's the first presentation that has to be made. The second presentation that's going to be made as part of this closing ceremony is going to be made by Mr. Stefan Leimer, the FIBA representative, who is going to be presenting a signed basketball to Mr. Robert Ball from the FIBA commissioner. This is his final tournament as a FIBA commissioner, so Mr. Ball is getting presented a token by FIBA to acknowledge the work that he's done as major championships over the years. The next presentation will be made by the interim CEO of Basketball Ireland, Mr. Paddy Boyd, who's going to be presenting the Fair Play Award.
The Fair Play Award for exemplary sportsmanship displayed on court goes to San Marino.
And San Marino are the winners of the Sportsmanship Award. That goes to the team who had exemplary sportsmanship displayed on the court. So San Marino just have to get one of their representatives down. The head of delegation is going to accept it, and in return, San Marino are making a gesture to the Irish Federation for hosting of the event. Very well appreciated. Then we talked about one of the countries that have been at the centre of the FIBA small countries for many years, and you can see who's one of the biggest characters around the small countries, and have been one of the big people here who's lifted up by the San Marino team on their shoulders after today's game. Absolute gentleman, so a lovely token there by San Marino.
Next, let's welcome back on the floor FIBA technical delegate Stefan Leimer, who will present the All-Star 5 Awards.
And now it's time for the All-Star 5 Awards, which are going to be presented by Mr. Stefan Leimer from FIBA.
Also presented by Mr. Robert Ball.
He's going to be joined by Mr. Robert Ball, FIBA Commissioner, in the presentation. It's actually just going to be Mr. Robert Ball. So the All-Star 5 are going to have
the first All-Star in the guard position goes to Andor's number 8, Guillaume Collin.
First person, Guillaume Collin. She plays for more bank than door in the ACB. top player, caused the Irish team difficulties in that first game. 6'5" guard, a fantastic tournament all week, and he earns the first spot on the All-Star 5. Number 8 for Andorra, Guillaume Collin. The second position on the All-Star 5.
And this award in the guard position goes to Gibraltar's number 13, Miguel Ortega.
Goes to the Leb Silver MVP, Miguel Ortega, part of the All-Star 5 in 2018, and he returns to the All-Star 5 here after a strong tournament for Gibraltar. Despite Gibraltar not winning the game, he was one of the bright lights of the tournament, and he will accept his position on the All-Star 5 from the 6th, second year from FIBA. In the All-Star 5 was one of the players from tonight's game. Leading scorer in the tournament, Aaron Falzon, had 32 points in the first game and then an incredible 38 points in the second game. In their win over Gibraltar. Aaron Falzon, as I said, is going to play in Austria, has played in the BBL before, Boston born, and a wonderful performance. Unfortunately, his team were short-handed this week and were unable to defend their 2018 title. And now begins the Irish interest in the All-Star 5.
The next award goes to forward, Ireland's number 13, Jordan Blount.
And it's Jordan Blount who earns his place on the All-Star 5. Really well deserved. 1 assist shy of a triple-double today. Fantastic tournament by Jordan. Pushed the ball in transition all week, creating opportunities for the Irish, as well as playing as an undersized power forward. A fantastic week for Jordan, and definitely very worthy winner of one of the All-Star 5 awards. And the final All-Star will also come from Ireland. It's Ireland's number 14, John Carroll from Pope in Dublin, via Hartford. John has had an amazing season in Leb Silver over in Spain. He's going back over there again, and as he said in commentary throughout the week, he's shown incredible quality and a huge performance by John all week, and very, very worthy winner of one of the All-Star 5 awards.
We visit all the 5 All-Stars to the centre for a picture.
We're going to have all 5 of the All-Stars for a quick picture before the tournament MVP is announced. Of course, from an Irish perspective, there were lots of other performances that stood out throughout the week. Sean Flood, Dorcan Murphy, to name just 2. Will Hanley got an excellent performance all week, but it's fantastic to see John and Jordan get the recognition that they deserve, and I'm sure the other guys know much more about what's about to be presented in a couple of minutes. That trophy that's behind Mark Keenan there.
We'd like to invite Basketball Ireland interim CEO Paddy Boyd back on the floor to make the presentation for the MVP.
So the interim CEO of Basketball Ireland, Paddy Boyd, is coming back onto the floor. The Molten Golden Ball is going to be presented to the MVP.
The MVP award goes to Andorra's number 8, Ian Collin.
The MVP award is not going to an Irish player, it's going to Guillaume Collin from Andorra. A fantastic performance all week by Guillaume Collin. Very worthy winner of the award. One of the challenges for the Irish team, I imagine, is that the depth of performances almost crowd each other out, but Guillaume Colomb definitely a worthy winner of the MVP, and Ireland will give that one up for the trophy that's up next.
Now to the medal presentations. We'd like to invite Basketball Ireland President Mr. PJ Reedy to come forward and present the medals.
The President of Basketball Ireland, PJ Reedy, is now coming onto the floor to present the medals. He's going to start with the bronze medalists who are Malta. Of course, as he said, it's the defending champions from 2018. This is their 5th medal of all time. They were bronze medal winners in both 2010 and 2012 before winning silver in 2014 and gold, as we said, in 2018 in the last tournament. They beat San Marino this week 96-65 on the back of Aaron Falzon 32, and a win by 26 points, 89-63 against Gibraltar, and Aaron Falzon again starting with 38 points before a loss to Andorra 93-74, and then a loss today to Ireland 97-66. But it was a good defence of their title by Malta, but obviously Samuel Delgara missing and then Kurt Cesar missing for today's game was a big impact on their ability to defend their title, but they'll undoubtedly be back in the next tournament looking to reclaim their title.
The silver medals.
Next up will be the silver medalists, the most successful team in FIBA small countries history, Andorra, 5-time champions. They were 5th in 2018 and were really disappointed after not making it through to the semi-final and final round. They got drawn in a tough group with Malta and Ireland. They were silver in 2016, silver in 2010, bronze back in 2006, and then winners in 98, 2000, 2004, 2012 and 2014. They've been either first or second in 5 of the last 6 championships and are definitely perennial contender in these championships, and again showed some excellent performances despite having some injuries and missing some experienced players. They put it up to Ireland in that first game, and we probably didn't realise just how good they were at that stage. We're now seeing the Irish team are taken to the stage where they're going to have their medals presented by PJ Reedy.
The European champions of small countries go to Ireland.
The second gold medal in Irish history, as I said, 27 years ago. Jason Killeen follows up on his head coach Mark Keenan winning back in '94. Adrian O'Sullivan, CJ Fulton, Lorcan Murphy, Sean Flood, an excellent performance all week. Kyle Hosford, one of the best domestic players. I'm sure Martin's down in Cork absolutely delighted. Owen Quigley, one of the best players for Tralee in recent years. Kieran Rowe has been a stalwart in Leicester for many years. Neil Randolph will be pleased with Ed, who's watching over in the UK with Darren, and Will Hanley obviously over from Connecticut, who's done a fantastic job. John Carroll from Hope has had a brilliant tournament. We now see Puff Summers, Adrian Fulton, except there Mike Hickey, of course, was the team manager all week, and Mark Keenan now accepts his medal. And what we'll have is we're going to have the national anthems as Royal Naveen plays out in the National Basketball Arena and the tricolour is raised. the National Basketball Arena, and Ireland's about to accept the second trophy, FIBA trophy. Jason Killeen, as we said, 36 years old, is playing for Ireland back in. And he accepts the trophy from PJ Reedy. A great moment in Irish basketball history, and well deserved for a fantastic team. The bookends a fantastic week, and Ireland are the FIBA Small Countries champions for 2021 here in the National Basketball Arena. Fantastic scenes as a brilliant team capitalise on a fantastic week here and have done the Irish basketball community and Ireland absolutely proud. Absolutely brilliant performances, dominant throughout the week, and as I said throughout the week in commentary, this really feels like it's the first step in something bigger for these teams. Wembley won in '94, went on to start a journey in the Eurobasket qualifiers, and hopefully it's a step to something much bigger for this Irish team. And congratulations to all of them. Thank you for joining us all week, both to our international friends who've been watching from abroad, and also the Irish basketball community who've been following this journey. We're absolutely so proud of this Irish team, and we're delighted that you were able to join us via the stream. Obviously we wanted it in different circumstances, but there's going to be brighter days ahead even for this Irish national team, and we look forward to being able to join them on that journey. And thank you again, and thank you to FIBA for allowing us to host here in Dublin, and to our friends from Malta, San Marino, Gibraltar and Andorra for being part of this tournament, particularly in the tough COVID year, and being able to come over here and still compete. So thank you everybody for joining us, and we'll leave it there as Ireland are crowned 2021 FIBA Small Countries champions.